Shalom. Well, we came to Tel Aviv to pay our visit, a morning call, Menachem Avilim, to comfort those in mourning for their loss. I haven't been to Tel Aviv in many years. It's a cultural experience. But I was thinking we're just a few days after Tisha B'Av, so it's appropriate to come here to the place of our friends who have lost a dear one, and to reflect a little bit about, mourning and loss, and what can be gained from mourning and loss. Because the rabbis, all the laws and all the practices and all the customs and all the traditions that are in Judaism are not what we think. We see them on the surface and we don't really understand the depth of the wisdom of those who contributed to this religion, to this people. And the depth of mourning is very profound. When we mourn a loss, when we experience a loss, or when we comfort someone else's loss, we're actually binding our soul to somebody else's soul. We're putting our soul out there to comfort somebody. Because what is the comfort? What is the actual mechanism of comfort? That you show up at somebody's house, you go out of your way, you cross the country. Well, it's not a very big country. We didn't cross Texas, so we're here, Well, you travel from Gush Etzion to Tel Aviv is a little bit of a journey. And, you show up to show that you care. And every human being knows this. You don't need to have it written in the book of Halacha to know that when you go to visit someone who suffered a loss, that your presence is felt. Each person at their own level, each person at their own sensitivity. But what we're not taught until we get to the Torah and get to the Kabbalah and get to the Hasidut is that sharing, that caring is actual soul. It's not caring and sharing in the simple sense of the words. It is the transfer of your essence to somebody else's heart. And their heart knows that. And when you're sincere, your heart shines that. And that is all the difference. So when I came to the Torah as a 29-year-old guy, I didn't know too much. I didn't know anything. Still question that question, but when I came to this great teaching, this lifestyle, this Torah is really a lifestyle. Suddenly, our feelings were defined and framed in the context of our being, our soul. A spark of divinity is behind everything that we do. So that when you walk into a room to comfort somebody, or God forbid, someone you need the comfort, and someone comes to you, they're sharing a piece of themselves with you. And vice versa, you're sharing with them. And the connection of the soul, that's where the comfort takes place. That's when the release of the pain, even a little bit, takes place. And that's called Tikkun Olam. That's called fixing the world. Because the world is made of billions and billions of tiny moments. Every life, every family, every city, every nation billions, uncountable moments where human beings can uplift each other, can share with each other, show a moment of compassion and understanding, patience, and to share the burden of a loss. And then what happens is, as the person who's mourning receives more and more menachem avelim, the comfort of mourning, his mourning is replaced by a connectedness to something much greater. And that connectedness takes place between all of us. And then you see somebody you haven't seen for a while and they show up. And it feels nice. That tiny little moment of feeling nice is a spark of God through the soul of the comforter into the heart of the one who's mourning. And a chain is made, a link. And that link picks up the world. So, the rabbis have a statement in the Talmud, Tov beit ha'avelim me beit ha'mishteh. It's better to go, if you have a choice of mitzvot, and someone comes and says to you, come to this wedding, there's a great wedding around the corner. And right next to them, another person comes along and says, no, come, there's someone just had a loss and they're mourning. They're sitting in mourning. You know what the rabbis say? Tov beit ha'avelim, ha'me'abel, mitabel, mi beit ha'mishteh. It's better to go comfort the one who's suffering than to join the celebration of one who's celebrating. Well, why? Celebration is a big part of Judaism. But it's not all about that. And you can always go to the wedding afterwards anyways. We all know that. You can show up for dessert, the music and the dancing. But when you go to share with someone who's gone through a loss, you're giving of yourself. You're not looking to receive. Well, hopefully when you go to a wedding, you're also looking to give of yourself, but there's a lot of receiving going on, because that's what happens at a wedding. There's a lot of joy, and we're sharing that too. But Judaism is concerned with the long picture, and the way we contribute to and build that great picture is through opening up the lens of the heart and understanding what is inside us and what wants to come out and give to someone else in this world. That's why God created us in the first place. So I hope these words reach your heart. They came from my heart because, we came to see someone who else had a great loss. And we are with him. And hopefully we're with you in joy and celebration as well. Maybe the next time we come to Tel Aviv, we'll have something else to say. But God bless you all. God bless this city. God bless all Eretz Israel and all Am Israel and all the world and all the nations of the world. For God, 8 billion people is not that many. So there's plenty of blessing when we start to look inside. All the best. We'll see you on all their platforms. Call to.